So it's a bit windy outside. My hair will blow in front of my face, but I'm enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air. So bear with me. When we moved into our house, we decided to obviously do it up our way. We redecorated, we changed some things around, we tried to personalize things, make it feel like home. And one of the things that we did was in our old utility room, there was an extractor fan high up on the wall, and we didn't like it. We thought it was ugly. We thought it would probably cause us more problems than anything else, and so we decided to get rid of it. We took it out, threw it away, patched up the hole in the wall, and thought, okay, that's done, that's easy, got rid of it, it's much nicer now. But time went by, and you might guess, we started to notice a buildup of condensation on the ceiling, and we would have to whitewash quite regularly to get rid of it. And we began to appreciate the wisdom of the past owner. He'd installed that extractor fan for a reason. So what did I learn from that? Don't move that thing. It's there for a reason. It can be anything, but something in your life that's there for a reason. You maybe don't understand why it's there, you don't know why it's there. Sometimes you just have to trust in the wisdom of past generations. Probably if you remember when you were younger and your parents would try to teach you stuff, you would think that they were uncool. You would think that they didn't understand, that they were old-fashioned, and you didn't really need to listen to them because you knew everything. And what they were trying to teach you just didn't fit with the way that your life was. Maybe they were trying to instill a value system into your life, or maybe they were trying to teach you good standards, something like that. We thought they were just uncool, old-fashioned, just the old generation. We can do better than them. Think maybe about some people with those godly habits that we used to have. You know, that regular time with God. When we first opened our hearts to let Jesus in, we used to spend time daily praying, reading the Bible, and seeking his face. And then we started to think maybe that, well, actually, I can probably get along without this daily time with God. Maybe things would still go okay, as if our daily time with God is just so that things can go okay in our life. That's not it at all. We'd really be missing the point if that's what we thought. But anyway, sometimes we get rid of it. We take it away. We remove it from our life, and we think, there now. Doesn't that look much better? And we start to live day by day, and we begin to discover why that thing was there in the first place. Why you start to see consequences. You start to see things that aren't quite right. You begin to see, maybe it was better before, and you begin to appreciate the wisdom of past generations. And finally, you wish you hadn't removed it because you're constantly having to patch things up, and so finally you give in and you have to put that thing back in place. It reminds me of the story throughout the Bible, not maybe just one particular story, but the story of mankind throughout the whole of the Bible from the very beginning. In the beginning, Adam talked with God regularly every day. They walked together in the garden, at least that's what Genesis chapter 3 seems to indicate. Then things started to slip, generation after generation, until the Bible tells us that the word of the Lord was rare. And then everyone started to do their own thing, and the results were evident. We start to see in the Bible that things just went from bad to worse, until somebody would twig that this whole situation was because the people had strayed from God. And so they'd come back to him. They'd put their lives right. They'd patch things up. They'd sort things out. They'd reboot. They'd start again. And everything would go fine for a while, until another generation would come along who didn't know God. The Bible says in Joshua, another generation grew up who knew neither the Lord nor what he'd done. And they thought they could get along fine without him. And so they'd start making exactly the same mistakes all over again. They'd do away with those practices of past generations, and the whole cycle would repeat itself. I could mention the past generations of our own nations. I could show snapshots of what society was like then and what it's like today. But I want to be more personal and apply this brief thought to our own lives. Don't move that thing. It's there for a reason. You might not know, you might not understand what it is, but sometimes you just have to trust the wisdom of past generations. You need to be intentional maybe and ask. Jeremiah 6 verse 16 says this: stand at the crossroads and look. Maybe you're at a point of decision and you're having to think and you're having to try and work out, which way should I go? What should I do? What should be my action at this point in time? Shall I get rid of it? Shall I go my own way? Or shall I stick with the way that things are? Shall I stick with what I know? The verse continues, stand at the crossroads and look, be intentional, ask for the ancient paths, ask where the good way is and walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls. That's extractophan wisdom. Don't move that thing. It's there for a reason. See you next time.